Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power.
Or would he?
Oh, Stanley, is that what you wanted? Control? He had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
What's up, nerds? I'm the Blue Titan, and welcome back to another episode 2 of our Let's Play Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe series. I'm smiling like an idiot because the intro to this game, before you get to this screen, you know, most games you just spam the spacebar key or click the button to kind of get through all of the intro screens and all the logos and all that, but this game, there's a bunch of random, I don't want to spoil it, but every time you start the game up, something funny happens. I'm just going to say that for you. And each time it's got progressively more ridiculous. Yeah, no spoilers. Go get the game, play it. It's hilarious. It's worth your time. I'm just telling you. But anyway, the last time we played, I went through a few iterations of the game, and I don't want to say too much because if you've never played the game or you don't know, or if you haven't watched the last episode, you should go do that. I don't want to spoil anything for you, so. But anyway, either way, I'm going to jump right into it because I've been excited to play this all day at work, and I've been thinking about this game. It just makes me laugh thinking about it, so I'm ready to start it up. So hopefully you are too. So let's get after it. The end is never the end. Is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple.
Not that simple.
He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push.
That's what I do.
How long to push them, and in what order.
Not about
This
how
is
long.
what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Hey,
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
I just want to say something. Yeah, this game predicted the work from home era. Stanley's at his desk working, and nobody's in the office. He hasn't seen anybody. It's like Stanley went to sleep and woke up in 2025, and there's nobody in the office, and he's the only person there, and everybody else is dodging Zoom calls and sitting in their underwear and their shirt and tie behind the webcam doing their laundry instead of actually participating in their Zoom calls. Oh man, this is so funny. Yeah, I have a lot to say about this game. This game is so meta and so funny. I'm excited. Let's go. All right. So last time we played, I closed this door and it started a different intro or it had an end, but we know that one now. But the last time we played too, like when we started the game, they had a different hallway, I think, and I said like, oh, it's a different hallway. It's interesting that it's gone now.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So one of my viewers was talking about how they found it interesting that
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
how they thought it was interesting that the direction that I choose to go throughout this, and how I kind of chose a different set of trees instead of just completely exhausting one pathway through the game every single time. I chose to go a different path and kind of shake it up every single time, and that was by design. I just kind of wanted to just kind of play the game, just do what I felt like in the moment, not really think much about it. So, but we'll do some of that as we go. But for now, I think there's so much novelty to the game, we're just gonna go blind fire and see what the heck happens. I still think there's a reason you can interact with these, right? And I can't turn it back on. There's got to be a reason why you're able to interact with these. There's also got to be a reason why you can interact with all the doors, right? Like, see, we want to hit these computers and interact, and then this... Okay, if you watched the last episode, you know, I remember, I'm pretty good at item placement, or like locational placement. That had a counter on it. I know that had a counter on it. Oh, this is different. Username access, what does that say? The current time... Please reset. Oh, I thought that was a meta joke to start up the game. I can't, that's an inside joke that I can't share with you viewers. Like the intro to the game, there were some jokes about the current time being set up and all that. Anyway, I hate Mondays. This, I think, is a direct reference to a famous like cup that made itself popular. I think, I mean, a lot of people, you know, it's a pretty famous thing to say anyways, but I think the boss of the character in Office Space had that cup. The guy that's like, yeah, I'm gonna need you to come in on Saturday. We have some, we gotta play a little catch up. Yeah, like just infuriating character, but super relatable for a lot of people. That manager who manages the managers.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
All right, let's go left. As I was talking about earlier, one of my viewers, you know who you are, Cole, he was talking to me about maybe going over here and exhausting all the different ways through this. I might do a few of those, but I'm going to try to kind of just have a little bit of fun and go randomly. I think it's more fun to just explore the random dialogue that's going on. And there's so many different...
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
There are so many decision trees that you can make in this game that honestly, you could probably play the game like for a whole straight day and just be methodical and, you know, mechanical and play the same tree over and over again and slightly deviate every time and still not run out of outcomes. I don't know. There are a lot of outcomes from what I mean, just look at the number of decisions I'm making. Like the directions I'm going.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Like downstairs is a whole decision. Didn't I go down this way and this was where the weird psychedelic trip was? Yeah, I think that was the psycho trip. I'm not going down there. I mean, maybe there's more than one outcome down there. I don't know. Maybe we'll go back down there in a bit. Oh, right. Then there was the weird bathroom. Especially with the beginning of the game being different every single time when you start. I'm super curious if things like this, it doesn't seem like it'd be beyond the scope of this game to have random locations like this just be different. Some playthroughs. You walk in and it's a totally different room. This wasn't locked. In another playthrough that wasn't locked. That's what I'm talking about. What?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Yeah, actually, across the hallway, the room I was referring to, I remember, because you remember it had an elevator in it, and it didn't go up or down. You just stood on it and listened to elevator music. He said 2845, right?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
All right. I'm wondering if there's another... See, it's things like this that make me want to check every nook and cranny and see if there's any special, sneaky other way you could do things. Like, just makes me wonder if there's another way you can go in this room. Or, like, fall down this crevice or something like that. But looks like no. I don't think there's any other way you can go except for down here. Oh, I should have checked to see if you can click this button. You can keep clicking down, huh? That's interesting. Loading, 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 loading.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
All right. He's having an existential breakdown.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Do I go down the escape route one, or do I go down the mind control approach? I don't think we did all of the ones in this direction, so we're gonna go this way. I think last time there was like a button that we didn't press. Press this.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Matrix fan, you know what I mean?
Horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Whoa! You guys see that? There's another pathway up there. I wonder if that's actually part of the game or if it's just like We'll have to take mental note of that for later. That's kind of interesting. There's no way that's random, right? And this has a button here too as well, yeah.
Now the monitors jumped to life.
Oh, there's a
Their
door.
true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
It really is creepy though. Like, the idea of being watched by Big Brother like this, my gosh. We're getting increasingly closer to that than we ever have been, and it's funny because every generation says that. But, I mean, even in my lifetime, just the sheer amount of, like, surveillance that's going on. It's not direct though, right? It's not like just cameras on us. It's like, you know, everything I type into my phone is captured for data purposes. It might not be nefarious reasons, but
this
it's
mind control
captured.
facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I love the melodrama in his voice.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Oh yeah, the
But
mic.
here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Or would he? What if Stanley was happy with the Matrix?
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Sometimes the cave is better.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start.
Enable backup power.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
2.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free.
2.
Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
What was the 1 at again?
Oh, dear me. What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
1.
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless, to see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces.
I want to hit the 5 button.
Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully?
Do I hit the button?
Another choice.
Should I hit the button?
Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
What the? What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Dude, what?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Too farted. Cup says he farted. Dude, that guy literally, like, the meta thing, like, he was, like, calling out everything I was doing, like I was hitting, but... It's on this time. There has to be, like, a discrete number of intros or beginnings, right? Like, it can't just be random.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm gonna just run straight there again and see if I can't solve that problem.
Yet there was not
Don't
a
care.
single person here either.
I know the story.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase,
Oh, I cut him
Stanley
off.
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Is this open now? It is open now. And this was the elevator that played music and stuff, right? I'm just curious to see whether or not this does something different sometimes, right? Like if it's the same every time. We're gonna try it once. But I am gonna go do that ending like we just did a second ago because I'm curious about it. I feel like this is just here. Just to play, just to have fun. It's a little creepy that they're singing Stanley. Yeah, same room. Part of me is like afraid that I'm gonna open that door, and at some point, every time you hit the button, you know, at some point you hit it and it does take you somewhere
into
else.
his manager's office,
Or even worse, like
Stanley
there's a
was
jump
once
scare,
again
there's like a
stunned
creature
to
or something like
discover
that.
not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Well, what the heck? I think everything, man. Like, what?
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Dude, the game designers of this are trolls. I'm gonna hit the up one and see if it does anything. Nothing. Okay. Can I get off? Oh, that would have been interesting, right? Hit the button, try to get off and see if there's anything there. I don't know. Dude, the fact that I would know the actual password and go through it multiple times and at some point just figure it out and remember the password and just guess it before he even
Stanley
says it.
walked
That's so
straight
funny.
ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I'm doing it though. I want to see if there's another way to beat that. Like if there's actually a password you can do.
The
We're gonna
lights
try it one more
rose
time.
on
If I
an
don't figure
enormous
it out
room
this
packed
time,
with
then I'll
television
probably
screens. What horrible secret did this place hold?
pay attention
Stanley
to other
thought to
locations
himself.
in the
Did he
game,
have
and we'll
the
see whether or not
strength to
there's
find
actually
out?
a password throughout our travels, and like you know, there's some other. There's got to be part of me feels like is maybe some kind of
Now
like
the
a.
monitors jumped
At the very
to
least,
life,
like
their
an
true
Easter egg
nature
or something, where if you know a
Each
password,
bore
if you
the
hit the
number of
numbers,
an
the 1, 2, 3, 4,
employee
5
in the
buttons in a
building.
proper order or
Stanley's
something, you know,
co-workers,
maybe something special
the
happens.
lives of so
Maybe
many
you do save yourself, and there's some kind of other like line of code. I don't know.
And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
This game is crazy.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I'm also curious to see if there's anything funny
He
on these monitors I
refused to
should be paying
believe
attention
it.
to.
He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
This door shut on us earlier while we were talking. I wonder if you can do anything, if there's actually a way to go through it, because it was open earlier. You remember, right? Like that door slammed on us while we were running through this. Mind control status offline. I'm curious if there is anything you can do in here. Like his jokes about not being able to get out of here. I feel like that's got to be like, part of me really feels like there's probably an ending involved with you actually getting through this. I'm gonna count down once. I mean, these might be too obvious, but I'm gonna do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 because I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 the first time. It's kind of hard to see this. Where those stairs at? They're the stairs. Oh, I think they come from the side. Yikes! How did I even get on this the first time? You're talking about being utterly blind to the world. That is absolutely the case right now. Where is the entrance to this? Can you even get on this? Am I blocked out of this? I should pay more attention to where the stairs started. It looks... Man, I almost want to turn the brightness off. Can I do that? Video brightness. I don't think I can do it. Doesn't appear to be a way of changing the brightness at all. If you're seeing it and you're yelling at your screen, you can make a comment about it, call me an idiot. It's okay. I don't see it though. And I also can't jump because they disabled that. No, that's blocked off. Has to be. It's blocked off. We're gonna find out really quickly when I click this. That is that really the only way that this ends? There's got to be other things, right? I'm paying extra close attention this time to see if there's anything we missed. There were those numbered buttons. I haven't played with anything else, but there's all these home buttons. All these lit up buttons too. Maybe I should have paid more attention to the fact that like a lot of these buttons actually are just lights, but that one button we pressed earlier, not the numbers, but this number over here, or this button over here, is actually a home symbol, like a home symbol, right? Like when I came over here and clicked it. Not these. There's a home button. Is this consistent? Left one is low. They're like different noises each time. Boop, 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 boop. No, they're different every time. It's just making random noises. Beep up. All right. I don't know. I really think 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 might be something. I don't know. I don't see any obvious signs. There's a blue light up there. That's odd. I'm gonna click the button and then run and go and get
And when at last he found the source of the room. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
I did.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go. Turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification,
see if it does anything.
Nuclear detonators are sent to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
Open.
It's your time to shine. You are the star.
Did you see that?
It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires.
I couldn't access this
is
ahead of time.
much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is.
Wait. Blue
me,
3?
Where we're going. What all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
Wait, it's just saying blue 3.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated.
The 3s are everywhere.
All right.
That wasn't there last time.
You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free.
Blue 3.
Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though. This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go.
Red button.
But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go around will be even better. My goodness, only
have one attempt
34
remaining?
seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much.
One
You know
attempt
what?
remaining?
To hell
That
with
wasn't
it.
there last time,
I'm
or I didn't
going to
notice
put
it.
some
Let's
extra
go
time on
3
the
over.
clock. Why
Look
not?
for 3.
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter,
Fail
Stanley?
safe?
Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little
Charge.
thing in this room. These numbered buttons.
Console
No,
disabled. I did that a
these
second ago,
colored
didn't I?
ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me.
I think it
Why do you
would.
think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
I don't, but I'm trying to
Do
figure
you
it out.
really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail. Just you
Holy
and me in
crap.
a retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again.
Dude,
And
This is-
Stanley died again.
wait, what?
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke.
I don't-
And believe me, I will be laughing at every second
Why is there
of
a
your
3?
inevitable
There was a
life
3 on
from
this,
the
and I
moment
think
we
last
fade
time we
in
came through here there
until
was
the
like a
moment
2,
I say,
right?
happily ever after.
Ah! Ah. Do I go back? Do I do it one more time? I'm like obstinate.
All of
I
his
want to.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm gonna do it one more time. I'm just gonna fly. If you want to fast
When
forward through
Stanley
this part,
came
I
to a
understand
set
it, but
of
I
two
just
open
I want
doors,
to.
he entered the door on his left.
Maybe there is no other ending there, and maybe that's actually the whole joke. The second one is second, but like there's a part of me that wonders.
Yet there was not
But
a
I'm
single
also
person
looking
here
around,
either.
and I don't see
Feeling
any
a
like
wave of
obvious
disbelief,
indications of a
Stanley
sequence of
decided to
5
go up
numbers.
to
I haven't
his
seen that
boss's
anywhere.
office,
We
hoping he
did see
might
those
find an
5
answer
buttons
there.
on that one exit or that one outro
Coming
to
to
the
a
game, right?
staircase,
That one
Stanley
outro that was
walked
like
upstairs to his boss's office.
that showed the credits. But the credits were just showing the buttons existed in the game. Like they weren't actually a. Is that a panda with a gun to his head? Is this strategy? What? Oh man. 2-8.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Okay. I don't even have to hit the buttons anymore. This game is so self-aware and so fun. It even understands I'm trying to burn through this quick. But see, the thing is, that makes me wonder if the game designers knew that I was going to do this, right? Because why would you have so many different endings or so many different ways to go down this path? I guess there are multiple different ways because I haven't even gotten down the escape path, but like once or twice or whatever. I still got to go down that again. To kinda see
Stanley
the
walked
other
straight ahead
exits.
through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
And I'm going to do it. Again, if you want to fast forward, there's a lot of steps, right? A lot of choices.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
This part I would probably skip
What
through.
horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought.
So you got to
to
watch all
himself.
this stuff like,
Did
you
he
know,
have the
raise.
strength to find out?
Oh, it's actually going a little faster. Or maybe I'm just misremembering. So I guess the last few
Now
times I
the
have been
monitors
talking
jump
about
to life. Their
other
true
things that we
nature
noticed, because
revealed.
that's new, right?
Each
Like we still
bore
haven't
the
found out how to
number
get
of an
there.
employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. The
I wonder
lives
if
of so
our
many
desk
individuals
is in any
reduced
of
to
these.
images on a screen. And
Well, I'm
Stanley,
sure it is when the
one of
screens
them,
turn to say
eternally
the
monitored
people's
in
number.
this place
We're for
where freedom
what?
meant nothing.
427? That is us right there. Employee number 427 right there. That's my desk. I'm almost certain that's us.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his
If you have any
boring job?
ideas when you're
That
watching
his
this, if you have any
emotions
ideas for
had
like
been
what
manipulated to
buttons I could
accept
press
it
in order,
blindly?
like, you know, just, and you want to share. I mean, don't look it up. I don't want to know any actual solutions.
He
It's just like a
refused
thought
to believe
process or a
it.
hint.
He
You know, like
couldn't
ideas
accept
you might
it.
have.
His own
This is
life
cool.
in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
This guy's reminding me of like the guy in Whiterun in Skyrim, which is like, your very lives. He sounds like the guy like that.
Here was the proof.
Worships
the heart
Talos.
of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Yes, I did.
After they kept you enslaved all these
Yes, I
years
did.
ago and you tried
I'm
to
ready
take
to blow up
control of the
again.
machine for yourself, is that what you wanted?
Look at the
Control?
screens. See if you see it. Remember, when that light comes on, we're
Stanley,
interested in seeing
I
if this
applaud your
screen...
effort, I really do. But
Things
you
we've
need
noticed,
to
right?
understand,
These
there's
screens,
only so much that machine can
I
do.
swear they
You
didn't
were
say 3 the
supposed to
first
let
time.
it
They
go.
might, but there was a blue
Turn
3.
the controls
But
off.
additionally,
and
every
leave.
time I shut this off,
If
it
you want to
tends to
throw my
come back
story
on.
off
I don't know how that
track,
works.
you're
And then we
gonna
also
have to
saw
do
over here on
much
these
better
screens
than
it said
that.
1 try
I'm
remaining,
afraid you
and there
don't
was
have
a
nearly
red
the power
button to
you
press.
think you
I
do.
don't know
For
how that
example,
works or what that
and
does
I
with the thing.
believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation
Maybe this has an
system.
actual
In
outcome.
the
Maybe it
event
doesn't. Maybe
that
it's just
this machine is
punishing me
activated
for
without proper
my hubris for
DNA
trying it multiple times,
identification,
but I'm curious.
nuclear detonators are sent to explode,
wait.
eliminating the entire
I'm gonna stand right here and see if I can't sneak
How long
in.
until detonation then? Let's say...
Think I can?
2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left
that's
to
the
enjoy
emergency
it. Mere
charge for the
moments until the
door.
bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is.
That
More
says
time
1.
to talk
That
about
says
you,
1.
about me, where we're going, what all this
Red
means.
1.
I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway.
What the
I'll
heck?
tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
What is that?
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing
breathe.
everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp.
What is going? There's
I have to
something
say
going
this,
on.
though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense
You
of
have 3
everything
attempts
and
remaining?
take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left.
Green.
But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the
Power
clock.
button.
Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right
2.
now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from
What does the
button
2
to button,
mean?
screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten?
Do I have to
One
press
soul?
all the purple buttons in the room? Is that how it
Do you
works?
have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail.
What is that?
Just you and me and the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And
Wait.
Stanley died again.
Purple is 2.
And Stanley died again.
There is no purple, though.
And Stanley died again. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing.
I think I'm on rails now. I don't think I can do anything now. But I do believe that there's something going on here. I think there's an ending here.
Peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Okay, so what do we know? There's multiple different white buttons that say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a button that shuts off some kind of power in some consoles. There's a button that says...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
There's those 4 new buttons that we saw that you could change
Perhaps he had
the screen color. I don't know what that does. There's clearly 4 colors there, but there's 5 buttons, and there's multiple colors, so I don't know what that means.
Of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What the heck?
Yet there was not a single
Yo, if
person
there's not an ending to
either.
this game, that is the biggest troll I have ever experienced in any game ever. But I am just like, I am utterly convinced there's an ending here.
Stanley
there has to be, right?
To his
You
boss's
can't.
office. Here's the door. Just go.
Yeah. It's like Groundhog Day with the old... That's an old movie. This is wild. There has to be something, right?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I wish I could kind of skip to this part, though, now that I know what it is.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
What? So we've got all those colors.
Now the monitors jump to life. Their true nature
The buttons,
revealed.
see, like what's throwing me off is
the number
each
of
button
an employee in the
has a
building.
color.
Stanley's co-workers.
I don't
The
know if those
lives of
buttons
so
actually
many
correspond to
individuals
like the
reduced to
same
images on a
color
screen.
every time.
And
Like,
Stanley,
is
one
the
of them, eternally monitored in this
is the
place
2
where
always? I don't know what
freedom
color it was.
meant
Let's say the
nothing.
2 was purple or whatever color. Maybe I should actually get something and write that down. Actually track what color it was. Just write down the number of whatever color each one was. I don't know if that matters.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible.
What's throwing me off is those screens. It looked like there were only 4 of them, though. So it's not like there's 4 colors that correspond to a specific order. What I was thinking was
this the
like
only
the
reason
yellow
he was
2
happy
is
with his
probably like the
boring
second
job,
monitor,
that
right?
his emotions had been
Needs to be turned yellow.
manipulated to
The button
accept
that's
it
yellow. But
blindly.
one of them was a color. It was like maroon or purple or something, and
No,
there wasn't a button for
he
that.
refused
unless,
to believe it. He couldn't
unless
accept
blue and red,
it.
if you hit
His
them both, it
own
turns to
life
purple.
in
Surely
someone
not.
else's
But
control.
maybe.
Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I'm certainly blind to any other ways to play through the game right now. I want to solve
Here was
this.
the proof, the heart of the operation.
But look, you've got there's a
Controls
purple
labeled
button,
with
there's green, there's
emotions,
yellow,
happy
there's red and blue.
or sad,
Are there any other
or
colors even out
content.
here?
Walking, eating, working.
Red,
all
yellow,
of it
green.
monitored and commanded from this very place.
Purple, blue.
And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert
Purple.
its terrible
There's like
power
2
over
purples.
another human life.
There's pink and there's purple.
For he
So like
would dismantle the
that's 6
controls
colors.
once and for all.
green, blue. I don't even know what's over here. Just a bunch of screens. There's 4 of these. Are there more of those? Like more groups like that allow you to press buttons and interact. I don't know what I'm looking to do here. And it sucks because you have to go through this whole thing every single time to get here, so I don't have enough time to think about it. I mean, I guess I have infinite lives, but it's just like I have to go to this.
And when at last he found the source. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do.
Yeah.
You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated,
I'm going to start here so I can get some ideas of what's going on here, get a better understanding of what I'm looking at.
Detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it,
Red,
Stanley?
green, yellow, blue.
It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your
I see a bunch of colors.
desires.
I don't know what that means, but we're going to see.
This is much better than what I had in mind.
Red
What a shame
one.
we have
Red
so little
one.
time left to
is
enjoy
one.
it.
I don't know if that's...
Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments.
I want to come over here and I want to like hit a button.
More time
see if I
to
can't
talk
change
about
it.
you, about me.
Blue one.
Where we're going. What all this means. I barely know where to start.
What does that mean?
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go.
Number 3.
But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not?
Red or blue?
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's
these
the
are all
matter,
broken
Stanley?
though now.
Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or
Yeah,
did you
I don't
just
know.
assume when you saw that timer
You have
that
one
something in
attention
this
span?
room was capable of turning it off?
Yikes.
I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button.
It just seems
or
so
this
random.
door.
Is it really
Everything,
random?
Anything, something here will save
Green
me.
5?
Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video
Contact
game can
sticking.
be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail.
This
Just
dude is
you and me
brutal.
and the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. Take a look at the clock, Stanley.
Man.
That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully?
I don't know what to do
Another
here.
choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
This guy. It makes me mad. I want to solve it. We're going to take a break. Let's say we're gonna take a break from that and try a different ending, just because I want to see if there's maybe some clues later. Part of me wonders if there's like other clues throughout your playthrough that might help us with that. I can't imagine that there's not something. I wonder if closing the store will do anything. Oh, I can't. You can't have the closed inside of your own office ending whenever you start with this.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
This is the one that
Stanley
has the
decided to
whiteboard
go
ending,
to the
right?
meeting room.
The whiteboard
Perhaps he
ending?
had simply
The
missed a
joke?
memo.
I think it's like this one, the whiteboard ending. The dog mode or whatever.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference.
We've got to remember
Nor
to.
did it advance the story in any way.
We've got to remember to look around and see
When
if.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
How many endings are on the left that I haven't? I don't know. I might go to the right just for
This was not the
something
correct way
different
to
for a
the
bit.
meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I remember the employee lounge. That was a funny little.
Yes,
Skip it on through
truly
here.
a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, I gotta just take a second to say that's crazy. I ran clear across the room, and in the exact frame that I left the room, his line got cut off, almost like it was exactly timed to assume that some people would just skip straight to the room. As he was like, yes, the waiting room, blah, or whatever, the employee lounge, blah, 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 blah. But eager to get back, and it didn't even sound like he like missed a beat. It sounded like the lines were put straight together. Anyway, last time we went straight on through, I didn't go down.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
No, I didn't. I don't think we went down this last time. I think last time I went straight across and got back on track. It just never ended.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track.
Yeah.
So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left. Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake.
I knew he was going to do that. I just had a feeling it was going to be like...
No,
not
the
twice,
right.
though.
Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh, dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Am I going to get hit by that vehicle as I walk through? Can I go through any of these doors now that he's... Okay, no, I don't think so. Can't go that way. We found it.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable.
Sorry, man.
How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I really feel like I should be able to jump or do some, like... Are these windows, like, interactive? It's, like, you can interact with, like, so many things in this game. It's kind of weird that I can't interact with this one. Oh, no, I just was hitting the wrong button, I guess. There's like a vague, like a deep, vague memory I have of the first time I played this game. I think you can go outside. Am I like, am I making that up? I feel like I've been outside of the map before. Too many years of playing Halo, maybe that's what I'm thinking about. That's a card game in there. I wonder if I can get in there.
When Stanley... Wait, what?
Do
No,
what?
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Yeah, this is giving me backrooms vibes. I also have a feeling that these are gonna just lead. Yeah, these are gonna lead back in the main room. You could just feel it. He's trolling. %. I'm gonna end up back in the original room. This door leads back in the main hall.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
No.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this.
No.
Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
No, dude.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
He just restarted the game on me. Twice. Trying to play. Stop it. I wonder what triggers that monitor to be on, because it's not always on. Sometimes it is. I'm sorry, my contacts sometimes stick. I'm playing and I just get so into it that my contacts stick. Are you kidding me?
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came
Dude, this
from.
guy.
Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Dude, what? Wait, is he gonna let me go through doors I normally don't go through? Or... Wait, the coffee spilt. Was that there last time? I have no idea what's happening right now. What is going on?
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Oh, we're doing non-Euclidean geometry now. We're trolling.
No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
We're having a laugh.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Yes!
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
All right, so the next series I'm going to be starting since I beat this game.
No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
Yo, that's
Some
not cool.
people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Dude, this guy restarts like he's metagaming. Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Yeah, seems good. I'll do that. I'm gonna press the button though on the computers though. That's part of the game, right? Just do that. Follow the... Bro. No. No. I've never even been that direction before. What? We're pressing all the buttons on all the computers, so we're going this way. Shut off this computer. Oh, I can't. I've never been able to interact with that, but I don't think I can shut that one off. What is this way? What the heck? Can I even go out? I didn't even try that door. I should have. Can I try all the doors? I might not ever come back here again. Who knows? Okay.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay,
It's just
now
took me
if
back.
my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact
Did you see
the
that?
skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
Yeah.
You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to
This
lighten
dude
the
is
mood.
trolling. What's up? Ah, yes! What is happening? Question marks. Hey, well, we're almost at the very beginning. This is like, look, you notice these numbers are getting closer to 1? James Bond room. Employee number 6. Employee number 38. Oh, stop. We're going down and all of a sudden we're putting James. Employee B5. What? Why is that one right number 38? What is happening with one of this day? What's that this way? E1? E2? I don't know what is happening. We're in a warehouse. Annual reviews. Oh, the door closed. I can't go back down, I'm guessing. Okay, nope. Monthly ledgers, corporate imbalances, financial records, departmental accounts, personal files, financial records. Can you go that way? Is there anything here? Budget analysis, nothing. It's so random.
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah. Oh. Okay. All right. Okay. We got it.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Wait, yeah. This is the door that was open that's never been open for us. We're actually back in the main room as we'd never been here before. Okay, so this was the way back to my own personal office. So the first time that it deviated for the first time ever, it went this way and we had that crazy, and now it's going back through and it's opening through another section we've also never been. We've never been over here before. This is all new. I'm gonna check the doors, right? Like, I mean, never come back through here again, maybe. Who knows? Oh, shit.
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
I don't trust that line, though.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story?
Yeah.
Something exciting, daring, mysterious.
What are we doing?
Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Oh, this way. Okay, sure.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
I just want a water fountain, man. I've been through an entire office. There's not a water.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Ignore the line. Protect. Don't look at it directly. Oh, yeah. It's actually kind of hard not to see it. Oh, I just look straight at it. Oh, where'd it go, actually? Oh, went to the ceiling. He'll probably be back. Hey!
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
You know, there's...
Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
I was going to say, you can't tell me that there really is a choice here, because if you had to go through all of this to be able to see both of those outcomes, that would be a lot. Okay, cool.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
Huh.
So. Okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination, so I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you do...
What the heck?
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
The fact that I can't open that door when you normally can tells me that this is this is part of that same storyline, right? This has to be part of that line. Everything that's about to happen is part of that of the restart loop, right? It's part of that storyline. I should expect something weird to happen again. I don't think this is a clean restart. There's 2 of them now. So it's tracked. So, okay. So over the course of time, and there's going to be 5 different times I got to catch that monitor somewhere and turn it off and on, maybe? Okay.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
What in the world is this? Oh, no. Okay. What the... What?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
They got the same narrator to do it too, 10 years later.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Or maybe I'm just stuck in an elevator.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
The jump.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
These guys are trolling. You can jump in the game now. Enjoy it while it lasts. It's so funny because we had the jump was disabled in the previous episode. No more jumps. I'm sad, but it was worth it.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator.
Hey.
Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this
Some
is
games,
new content,
if it's a
then I could
AAA
just
studio
read you the
game.
whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good.
All right.
Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Oh, it's behind me. It was There was a snake, it would have bit me, as they say in the Midwest.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Sure, man. He's kind of growing on me. The end is never the end. Yo, what is that? Wait, this is a picture of my original haul. What is going on?
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Yo, I don't know about all that. Okay, I guess I'm listening to the narrator. Coffee nut, the screwdriver. Oh, I'm dead, aren't I? I'm gonna die. He's gonna kill me. Please don't. Oh, loading screen stuck. Oh,
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw the door, my first thought was the kiln of the first flame from Dark Souls 1, and my brain was like, are they like making a reference to that or something? I don't know what was going on.
I call it the memory zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Oh. Narrator. He's a sentimental type.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
The Steam review. The Steam game right there. That's for independent games. Audience Award. The British Academy film. Stanley. Just... Good times. The Stanley Parable remake, buy on Steam. The original remake. The first dollar that they earned. Trip down memory lane. Stanley Parable on disc. Smile because it happened. Stanley Parable demonstration. Begin the game. Oh, yeah. So if you've never played the Stanley Parable, this is a famous achievement. I know this one. If you don't play the game for 5 years, and then the original Stanley Parable, if you didn't play the game for 5 years, the game had an internal clock, and you came back 5 years later and turned it on, you would get an achievement for coming back 5 years later. That was literally a thing. I 100% real. I remember that. I don't know what this one's referring to, though. The unachievable one. Work in progress beta. Stanley Parable Game Innovation. British Academy Game Awards. New video game releasing today. Creator surprisingly down to earth. Oh, yeah. You died ending. We had that earlier. Stanley Parable deals tough choices. Random wires in the ceiling. Look at that random detail. It's interesting. Little Stanley. Oh, I think that's like a hamster or a little mouse of some kind. In loving memory of Little Stanley. I wonder if that's actually the designer of the game's like pet from his childhood or something. Wouldn't that be cool?
Je suis dans la mémorisation, seul sur l'abri des loups, et je n'attends plus que toi, mon amour.
The piano?
C'est là, dans la mémorisation, où je me remémore les jours où je t'ai
This high
An
museum.
Omegle is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore.
Oh.
It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Oh, I remember that being a meme about the game when it came out a long time ago. Two people joked about the elevator content because like the random elevator that you find and you listen to music in it. BigShushi.fm. Best of packs. Don't read any reviews except this one. How do you review a game like the Stanley Parable? To describe any one part of it is a risk its ruination. To detail what it has to say about the game design, the illusion of choice, and psychology of a gamer is to tell too much. Comparisons, too, are going to be woefully inadequate. Perhaps its closet cousin would be Dear Esther. But when Dear Esther wastes the form of interactive entertainment, Stanley Parable uses and subverts it. Where so many games that aspire to be more than games that less than the form of art, Stanley strives, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, this is the Destructoid review he was just talking about. It's really cool. We're back here. Minecraft? It's a Minecraft dirt house. That's an interesting little, That's Portal. Look at these references. A reference to Minecraft and a reference to Portal. Like, I guess, like, you know, kind of predecessor games that were also very, very influential in game archetypes. Like, of they kind of define their own like genre. The first choice, yeah, of course. Person of the year, I guess supposed to be Stanley. All the buttons that we pressed earlier. Can you go downstairs too? Memory zone maintenance. Okay. I guess you can't. Music's picking up. I see a picture of a Mac of somebody playing the game in Windowed mode. What a heathen. For Scott K. Okay. Stanley Parable. Oh, collector's edition tie. Top 100 memories of the Stanley Parable. The end is never the end is never the end is never the end.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Yo, dude, I wonder if that's actually what the designers are trying to say here. Wouldn't it be crazy if the designers of this game, tongue-in-cheek, made this expansion, and this is really them critiquing the people who pushed them to make an expansion? The narrator is essentially the representation of the actual designer of the game saying, I didn't want to increase this game, I wanted the game to fade. I think about that a lot with like books that I used to read as a kid, or like games I used to play as a kid. And nowadays, a lot of times when you read a movie, or you watch a movie, or you read a book, or you watch a series, or you play a video game, they're all designed to never end. To keep you on the hook, to continuously come back and play, and kind of keep you addicted to like clicking and being interested in it. And you never log off. You're always playing the game. You're always logging on and getting your daily points or whatever, getting your daily login bonuses. Games back in the day, I remember like old school games like the original Final Fantasy series and stuff. Nowadays, they're JRPG games that you play for indefinitely. Back in the day, they were stories. You played the story, and the story would end. And I remember the first time I ever beat a Final Fantasy game, and it blew my mind. Because it felt like the first time I read a Harry Potter book, and when I finished the Harry Potter series, and everybody else around me, I finished the series that I grew up with. Reading the first book in like 5th grade, and then finishing the last book in my senior year of college or whatever it was. And I end the last page of the last book, and I closed the book, and I just looked up at the ceiling, and it just felt like I lived a lifetime, and I woke up and nobody else had lived it besides me. And I had nobody to share that with in that exact moment. It almost felt like I would never see that again. And it's kind of a similar, I would never feel that feeling again. I could never re-experience the first time reading it ever again, but it was an experience that I wanted to share with somebody, and somebody had to know what I felt like. It was like breaking up with somebody, and nobody ever knew I dated them. I know that's a weird way of describing it, but it's like nobody knew I read that story, right? And it's like a whole experience that'll only ever exist in my own head, and will fade away with me as I fade away eventually one day. It's the same way with a game like this, right? The Stanley Parable is a game from 2013. Without a re-release, I probably wouldn't have ever thought about the game again. I'm glad it happened because it allowed me to go back through this and kind of dust off some very interesting, fun, old content. But I do appreciate, if that is literally what the designer of the game was saying, I do appreciate their critique and their modern frustration with the desire for corporate kind of like game studios to just squeeze that little bit of extra money out of the game designers and just push more content just because game cycle must continue. Game is successful, must get extra $10 for DLC. There's another game years ago that was kind of a similar thing. If you look up a game called DLC Quest, it's a side scroller kind of like Mario, and it's kind of a similar feel, right? The game actually critiques a little bit more on the nose DLC in general, where every single thing that you do in the game, whether it be walking left to jumping to attacking, you have to buy DLC in the game in order to do it with money you find in the game. But the whole joke and the whole shtick is that you can't even, DLC got to the point where there was a point in time where people were making a joke of how games were being released not even finished, and you had to buy DLC to actually get access to a finished game. So I like these harsh, clever criticisms of the modern gaming industry, because in a lot of ways it's fallen prey to a lot of the same issues that other games and other industries like the music industry as well as the movie industry, like the Hollywood, has kind of fallen prey to, which is an over reliance on the consumer, it just squeezing every last dollar out of them and kind of sucking the soul out of the creation. But either way, what a cool, this is cool. This is just, it's like the other ending we saw that was in the previous game that we saw when we walked through and saw like the original choice in the hallways in the previous episode. This is kind of a similar thing to that, but it's like, it's not like talking about the life cycle of the game and how they built it. This ending isn't about like how they built the game. This one is about how the game aged. Walking through like a bunch of game reviews, like idolizing it, or I guess, you know, immortalizing the game reviews for this game within its own game is some of the most meta thing. Like this, what a very intelligent game. And I mean that literally, not in like, oh, it makes me feel smart because I get it, I'm in on the joke, but like a very well written, well thought out game. Can I go this way? The Serious Room, 2013. Can I go in there? I can't jump anymore because I lost that ability. The Serious Room, 2013. Can I do anything? I don't know if I'm... what I'm supposed to do from here.
These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
Yeah? Can I go back down here now? Yeah, I figured.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Steam reviews? Are these like bad reviews?
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Oh no, are these bad reviews for the game? How funny.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
I've never seen anything so meta than this game. Like it's breaking my brain, man.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
You can't make everybody happy. You just can't. Some people want, a brain-dead shooter game. That's fine. I enjoy just killing zombies in Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, whatever. Just doing random things like that. Sometimes you just want to kill random things and not think about it, but Can't make everybody happy. You can't even try. You can make yourself go crazy doing something like that.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Are they really going to change the game and I'll be able to have a skip button?
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a Well, there's sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place.
And in all honesty, they probably never would, right? Because most of the people that played this game back in 2013, how old were they when they played it? They might have been 13. They're 20, I guess probably like 20, because it was 2013 it came out. Yeah, so they'd be 25 now. They aren't thinking about this game anymore. Or whoever it was that played it, they're probably not thinking about this game at all.
I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button.
I feel that way sometimes too, actually, about Steam. Steam sometimes, like, there's some things about it, the most visited parts of the Steam, like the overlay system that allows you to, pick from your games as well as kind of go and buy games. There's certain screens that are very commonly visited. Steam has so many. Steam reminds me like the old school days of going onto like Wikipedia, or the old school Stumble Upon website that's kind of now gone. Where you just kind of click and click and click, and you're going through link and you're getting linked to that and this, that. And sometimes I don't know where I'm at when I'm on Steam. Like, there's just so many different pages. I just get lost. So I understand where he's coming from when he says you got to get a little bit more familiar with Steam, because sometimes I don't know where I'm at when I'm on Steam. Like, this is ridiculous, but there's so many features on Steam that I didn't even know they had. It's actually a little bit kind of nebulous.
Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused.
Steam does a pretty good job of listening to its player base, though. That's why it's one of the rare cases of people that are okay with its monopoly. Because despite the fact that, sometimes they do some crooked and weird stuff with players gambling on loot boxes and stuff, most of the time what they do is pretty for the people, for the player base. So
look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial, something
blah, blah, blah.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer.
Oh,
that
no.
last one was, well,
it's like the movie Click.
I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated,
Okay.
and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here?
There's no door.
Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment. And I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
Nothing. It's quiet. I hear something outside too. I've been scraping or making noises of some kind. What is that? Smoke alarm?
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves they couldn't help but leave a negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amuse them endlessly from start to finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition.
That's a loop.
But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoan these.
Like the loop, that's what he started with. I just want to say really quickly here. Wow. I could probably talk about this for an hour. I don't have time to do that because it's pretty late. It's 1:30 in the morning. I have work tomorrow. But I am going to get through this part. I'll probably close it up after this. But I have to just say something, man. Like, he really hit something hard on that diatribe about, like, the perpetual need to be entertained in our culture today. There's a YouTube video a while back that I saw that was something to the effect of, you know, everybody's competing to waste your time today. And I think that's absolutely accurate. For years, I avoided having any form of social media. It just wasn't for me. But being a teacher, I just didn't want to have that. And I'm telling you, I made an Instagram account just to kind of see what everything was about. A few friends were sending me random memes, and I figured, whatever, I'll go ahead and just make an account. I made a Facebook account specifically to be able to talk with my mom because she's a boomer and she doesn't like having any form of web or like video based app that allows you to speak with people unless it's Facebook Messenger. And I made a few random social media accounts again specifically because there were a few features I wanted to try out, and I'm telling you, every one of them is a void that just sucks you in, and you are watching 35 straight reels in a row. You turn it on, you see a video, and all of a sudden you are just the dopamine drip is injected, and you are just jacked in. And he's right. The narrator of the game is right. And I know it's tongue in cheek and funny but it really is true. Nowadays, every single thing you watch, every single video you watch, no matter what it is designed, it is form factor designed from the beginning to get you hooked and get you interested. I mean, that's kind of what my videos are like. One of the things I learned was at the beginning of your videos, right? Like, I try to have some kind of an interesting little intro that gets you, the viewer, to be like, oh, it's called a curiosity loop, right? You look up what that is, where basically the very beginning of the video has a thing happening that's exciting or different or interesting or novel, and then before it finishes, before that thing that you're watching actually comes to some form of resolution, you cut it. The human brain is so simple when it comes to that kind of stuff. People crave resolution. And if you just end something and then promise that it'll come later, you drip feed that to them, they'll stick around a lot longer. And people employ more and more and more of that stuff. We've gotten people down to the point where we know how to get them just jacked in, and they're just watching videos and they're watching it for 6 hours. I mean, how many of you have done that, right? Like, if you make a comment about it, if you know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, that sounds a little bit like inorganic or like maybe a little artificial or maybe not honest to say or maybe whatever, but like engagement farming. But seriously, like, make a comment if you know what I'm talking about. Like, you ever sat down, watched a YouTube short or an Instagram reel or like a Facebook reel or some kind of a TikTok video or something like that, and you meant to watch one, and then all of a sudden you're just sitting there and maybe you've got a drink in your hand and you're watching and you're just standing there, and maybe you're in the corner of a room and you don't even remember how you got there, and you've watched 14 videos in a row, 40 videos in a row. You looked at the clock earlier, and earlier it was 10 in the morning on a Saturday, and all of a sudden it's 1:30 in the afternoon and you're still laying in bed, but you woke up at 10, but you've been laying in bed for an hour and a half or two, and you're just playing on your phone, scrolling, watching infinite brain rot. I know it might seem a little bit trite, especially those people who are leaving bad reviews for this game, but I think the designers of this game are very astute, very intelligent, and very much so this is a pleasure to play. This game is fun, and it makes me think. And like I said, I could probably talk about this for a whole hour, but I don't want to do that because I got to go to sleep at some point. This channel don't pay the bills. It's just for fun. Man.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle. If you know what that is, you're a real one.
Never the end is never.
A clock fell off the wall. Okay. Can I get out? Not quite. Okay. Where's the narrator? The nature is reclaiming it all. Wait, what? Do you hear that? Okay, we're entering into the realm of entropy and creepiness. So it broke. I can leave. This was underwater. Remember this big building was actually inundated, and then we... I can't, I don't appear to be able to go up on it. I don't see anything in the distance. I don't even know what to say. That's gonna do it for tonight. What the hell? I just feel like there is a lot going on and a lot to talk about and a lot of avenues through which I could talk about this game right now. The meta of the game, like the game, him referencing his own meta reviews. I need a moment. I need some time. I'm gonna take a day, come back and play, and maybe I'll have something more insightful to say. I don't know if I will, because honestly, that was a trip. Yeah. Okay. So that's it for today. Yeah, we're gonna go back to the main menu, and I'm gonna say, what the heck? That was fun. I think. It was certainly an experience that we had and we shared together. Okay, yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, I don't even know what to say, or whatever. I don't, or don't, right? Or don't. Thank you for your time. If you enjoyed this, you're weird, I guess, like me. This has been a fun... Is fun the right word? Whatever. Catch me another time. Until next time, I had some fun. Stay gaming, guys. Have a good night. What the...